you can just like take all these questions that people are literally searching for and then just answer them in a video, fun, creative format. What's up, guys? Rich here. Thanks for tuning in to the TwoSix10 Podcast, where me and the boys talk about how you can use content the right way to grow and scale your business. If you find this episode useful, then please share with a fellow entrepreneur, marketer, founder, or anyone else who might also get some value from it, and let's all grow together. With that said, let's jump straight into it. All right, so what's the difference between creating content for yourself and creating content for your audience, and why is it important?
Well, it's two completely different approaches for creating content, I'd say. So if I was to create content, it's going to be mainly my interests or my goals, whereas creating for your audience, is going to be content that benefits them, brings value to them. And I guess it also comes down to like the objective of your content. Like, are you creating content to just express yourself or express something that interests you? I mean, like, this is perfectly fine for, say, like a YouTuber or a TikToker who has a following that follow them for their personal interests or maybe opinions. But creating content for your audience is more, I'd say, strategic and aims to provide value or solve problems, or even just educate them on a topic.
Yeah, I think we see it a lot, don't we? With the reason I asked you is because we do, like I say, we see it a lot with our businesses, and brands coming to us, and it's like, you know, what are you trying to achieve with this? It just looks like, you know, you're clearly doing. I won't say any names here, but like it looks a lot like you're doing it for yourself, and it's topics and stuff that you're interested in. And I am a firm believer, if there's one person out there that likes something, there's going to be a whole host of other people that like it too. But I just think with organic content in particular, you've kind of got to appeal to the masses sometimes. And, you know, you might not necessarily agree with it or like it, but you've got to do it. And I really struggled, actually, like, to go back to my content days, I guess, rewind the clock back when I was vlogging and stuff. Like I
remember them days.
Yeah, but I was, although I was vlogging, like a lot of people were vlogging at the time, and it was like kind of thing you do, you know, travel and vlogging, all these things. But like, I don't know if this sounds like, I don't think it that. Just please take this in the sense of the word that I thought I was very different, in terms of like, not necessarily in a good way. I thought at the time I was like, oh, I'm different, like, you know, in a good way. But like looking back, it wasn't in a good way because I wasn't really appealing to anyone. And what I mean by this is like, you know, there was guys and girls, you know, they would turn up to like similar places to me, and like, you know, they would go and they would get all like the fake as shit shots, you know, like them walking through the beach, and it's like, you know, they're, you know, sticking their ass in, whatever, and like, you know, the guy's like filming the girl and she's like swishing her hair, and it's like all these stuff, and it's like everything's perfect, you know, and like all this stuff. And I was just like really real. Like I'd turn up and I wouldn't give really much information. I'm just like, right, I'm here at this place, boom, going out for dinner, whatever. And the thing is here, I was just documenting my life, and it's what I enjoyed doing. And I didn't really necessarily give a shit if anyone watched it or liked it. Because even now, like, you know, we sometimes watch them back and it's like, it's cool. But other people were like making the content, again, you know, in a similar sort of concept, but they were going out and they were like just, you know, sitting down and saying like how much everything was and all this stuff, and like,
Right, yeah.
But everything is, you know, it's all like perfect. And I get it, like you're giving value, you're giving information, I get it. But it's like, everyone was just doing, there was no realness to it. Do you know what I mean? Like there was no, like, there was no like individual story. And I think now we see it with brands and businesses, like I say, they come to us and they're like, we're making this content. And it's like, who is this for? Is it for you or is it for an audience? And my point here is, when I was doing it, I was just making it for me, and I didn't really build or grow or do anything with it. And then there was other people who, again, not sounding big-headed, but like my skills were like, this sounds really bad, but they were better, right? Like, you know, I could use a camera better, I could edit better. I was just better on camera, you know, I wasn't as awkward, but they were getting way more views because they were doing the sort of like cringy shit. It was like, you know, people liked, I guess.
Yes, people wanted to see that
Yeah, and they didn't really care about my life, which is completely valid. Like that is completely fine. I'm not saying that here like is a problem, but I just mean that businesses and brands got to really think about that as like, you know, the cringy sort of trendy shit that you might regard as like, what the hell is that other business doing? Newsflash, that's going to work. Not all the time, but like, I'm not saying do trending stuff all the time, but there's a lot of things that you could do that you don't necessarily agree with, that you don't think is a good fit for your brand, but in actual fact, there's an audience for, a huge one at that. And you've got to be very careful that you don't just like dismiss those because you don't believe that that's what you should be doing. And if you don't want to put your face to that, valid, I get it, it's fine. Get someone else who will, I think is the answer.
Yeah, I completely understand exactly what you were saying, like the whole vlogging side of things. I experimented with that as well. And yeah, like you really have to determine if that's what someone watching will want to see. Like you said, nobody cares about your life. Like when I was doing vlogging, nobody cared about my life, but it was just, I wanted to do that because it was my interest and I just wanted to watch it back maybe one day. Kind of like tracking your own life in a video style and then sharing it with people and see if they care.
Which, by the way, sorry to butt in here, but just for anyone listening, which, by the way, is completely valid. Like, if you're a business out there right now and you're just like, I want to document this whole process, showing like how many orders we're putting out, doing all these things, telling a story, that's fine. But as long as your goal isn't to grow your business in doing so, like if your goal is to get loads of sales and loads of things by doing this, then, you know, there's two like differences in alignment there.
I don't think there's no right or wrong answer here. What we're saying, it's more back to the question. It's just understanding the difference between creating for yourself and creating for your audience. Like you said, if you're looking to build a brand or a business, then you need to be targeting your audience in a sense, depending on your content. But I think just to summarize for myself on this point, if you're creating content for your audience to benefit from, then you have to come up with some kind of content strategy. I just don't think it's as simple as just pressing record and winging it, kind of like what I done with a vlog, just press record and just go with it kind of thing. You just need to adapt like a tone or a format and just really work out what your objective is from the content.
Yeah, for sure. And like, understand as well, like I sort of said that, you know, it's like training content, whatever, but you know, there's way more to it than that. I think you as a business, like once you identify your target audience, which I'm hoping for the love of God you have before we ever got on a call or before you ever thought about doing organic content strategy, you probably have your avatar already in your mind lined up, and that's the person who you're appealing to with video content as well. And understand maybe sometimes that is limited too, you know, and I feel like a lot of businesses miss that point, and I've had first-hand experience in this. It's like, okay, we have this product or we have this service. Who's it tailored to? So let's take like a really niche down version, right? So like we have, this is so random, but I was walking on the beach this morning, just saw it and it's in my head now. So like we have like a kite surfing school, right? So like that is quite niche, right? Because not only are you into surfing, not only can you swim, you're into surfing. Not only are you into surfing, but you're into kite surfing. Not only there has to be wind, but you have to be in a certain location. Like all these things, right? So it's very, very niche. So there's a very limited amount of people that really has any interest in buying your thing, right? Like the data window is really, really small. But there's so many more people out there that might be interested in all of the things above that I just mentioned: the swimming, the wind, like the kite surfing, the location, right? So there's so many things there that you can make content about, but understand that only a select few will actually buy. And we see it again with businesses. It's like, oh, my videos are going viral and they're doing really well, but no one's really buying. And you know, it's like it comes down to like who you're actually making the content for. Like there's only a certain person that is interested in that. And even more so, like I've had businesses go, oh, we want these videos to like, you know, go viral and get millions and millions of views. I'm like, but is millions, and not to be offensive, but just be real. Like, is millions and millions of people going to be interested in this thing? Like if it's youth football, for example, that tracks how hard you kick, probably. What if it's like, a wire that helps electricians speed up the speed of something electric? Like, it's very much more like rare that millions of people are going to be interested in that thing.
Yeah.
And I think
the electrician's just watching this like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, but I think what I'm trying to say here is like, it's important to just like understand your sort of like, social media has fucked everyone. Like, let's be honest, like people go on there and they think I should look like them, they've got a better life than me, they're eating better than me, whatever the case is. And it's the same with businesses. They see other businesses doing well, going viral, and they think I want to do that too. But their product or their service 100%. Or their thing that they're offering is either better or it just appeals to more people. So try not to compare yourself too much, I think is what I'm trying to say here. I guess like there's people within the strategies and the content, the purpose of making content, that is really going to have an effect on how much you can do, really.
I've got my next question to follow, but I just want to go back to the football tracker.
Nice.
I mean, I like the idea of that. I've just took a note of that as a business idea anyway, if it's not out there already.
Are you going to start that with you're going to start that before the clothing brand?
Yeah, I'll start it. I'll start that first. I feel like that could work well.
You could launch the two together. You could do like the football tracker that comes with a t-shirt that, looks cool, or like measures your heartbeat or some shit. I don't know.
Just quickly note this down. Future business plan.
There you go.
All right. So my question for you was, what strategies can businesses use to identify their audience's needs and interests in order to create more effective content?
It's a good question. I think
solid question.
Yeah, it's a solid question. I mean, there's definitely things now that you can use online, like ChatGPT, for example. You could just literally type in, you've got a product. I don't know, Scott, name a product. I've gone with electrical football things. Just name me something random.
What about I just had something there and it's gone, and it was really cool, and now it's gone. It was like some kind of kitchen utensil, a new electric whisk.
A new electric whisk. Okay, so I'm making a new electric whisk, or I have a new
super fast electric whisk.
Okay, I've got an electric whisk. So you can type in to ChatGPT right now. You could go. In fact, let's do it. Let's do it as a thing and share with for anyone that's not used ChatGPT. Let's just do it as a thing.
Is that free promotion right there? Free promotion for ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Okay, let's go. Okay, so
this is where an ad should pop up.
I've opened ChatGPT and I'm literally just going to type in, give me content ideas for my electric whisk. Okay, it's generating. So recipes, share. I've got my phone here. I've got to move it. So recipes, share recipes that are easy to make with an electric whisk. Maintenance tips, offer tips on how to clean and maintain the electric whisk. Comparison reviews, compare yours to other people's. Creative uses, suggest creative ways to use an electric whisk beyond just mixing ingredients, such as frothing milk or coffee, or making homemade something. Homemade mayonnaise. There you go. Sorry, it glitched. How-to guides provide step-by-step guides how to use an electric whisk. Product demonstrations, accessories, so like other like handles and stuff like that. Health benefits and eco-friendliness, and then user-generated content, which is something that we spoke about in the past in this podcast quite a bit. So there's one thing like that you can do straight off the bat.
By using ChatGPT, you just then addressed any needs and interests of someone that was coming to maybe potentially buy my super fast electric whisk.
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing that I would say. And then obviously you can take that content. So a strategy there would go, right, pick maybe a couple, and then go and shoot those and video those, whatever. See how they perform. And then people are going to engage with it, you'd hope. and then engage with
Yes.
those people that are engaging with you. So you can like start, responding to questions and stuff like that. That could be like another thing. So that's what I would do, for example, if I had an electric whisk. There's also another site. Should really have this straight off the top of my head. Why is my mind just gone blank? It'll come back to me. In the meantime, do you have anything that you would add to that to answer your own question?
Yeah, so to answer my own question, so one of the things...
Something, I got it.
I'll let him go. I'll let him go.
I've got it.
Do it before it goes.
So there's a site called Answer the Public. You may or may not have heard of that. So it's the same thing. So you have heard of it?
Yeah, brief. Someone done a TikTok on this recently, actually. TikTok, as per usual.
Yeah, so it's Mr. Neil Patel, and it's really good. Like there's a free version and there's also a pro version, but I'm just going on again, right? So you put in your topic, I guess. So I'm just going to go electric whisk, and then you put in your place of, right now it's coming up with Colombia for me. I'm just going to put in again, right, UK, and then I want it in English, not Spanish, please. So I've searched it, and then it'll come up with just tons of just like questions that people ask about electric whisk, right? It is just generating, so bear with it. But yeah, this is another thing that I would recommend as well. So like another strategy, you want to ultimately understand what people are interested in around your subject matter. So whatever you offer, whether it's a service, product, whatever it is, right? Like there's going to be a ton of questions that people, I guess, ask, right? So here we go. There's 43 highly searched questions, believe it or not. Can electric blender grind beans? Can an electric blender blend coconut, right? So there's like loads like that. And then let's sec. And then they're now comparing ones, right? Which electric whisk should I buy? Best electric whisk for baking. Wilco electric whisk. Best electric whisks, all this. How to use an electric whisk. Electric whisk reviews. Like there's loads, right? You can just like take all these questions that people are literally searching for and then just answer them in a video, fun, creative format. And
So what was this one called again? What's it called?
Answer the Public. So you've got ChatGPT, Answer the Public, two sites that I would absolutely recommend using to determine your strategy.
Yeah, it can help in so many ways, like if you're a brand or business, just to come up with a ton of ideas, and then obviously it's down to you to obviously go and make that.
For sure.
So to answer my own question, one of them is industry research. So I think that if you really want to create content that will, resonate with your target audience, and I would say that this is something you 100% need to be doing. I mean, by doing this, you have a general idea, the problems that like your audience is facing and what they're looking for from your content. So I had an example in my head just now. I need to had it. Then you started going on about your website.
I'm sorry.
That was it. Yeah. So I'll give you an example. So you're a fitness trainer, not a clothing brand this time. You're a fitness trainer. You're trying to build up a clientele, grow your audience on social media. Then you should be looking at maybe, I guess, like workouts for beginners in the gym. I'd say that's a very big one. That's like a need from people. A lot of people, the amount of people I know, including myself, that start the gym and you don't know what workouts they should be doing. And then obviously for some people, this leads to them just giving up on the gym.
Yeah. So
because you've now researched that this is something that people struggle with in your industry, you can easily start making videos. And I guess, like here is an example. In my example, 5 workouts for beginners at the gym. So then you're offering 5 free workouts that people can be doing when they first start at the gym. And then boom, you have a new follower who either might sign up to your course, if you have one, or you've just gained a follower that's going to follow whatever kind of content you make. That was my example in an example.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I think there's multiple strategies. I think what we're coming down to here is just like what people want to see. And to answer the main part of this podcast, you know, we're talking about like creating strategies for, or creating content for you or for your audience. I think the answer there, we've just answered another question, like what would we do? And it's all about creating for someone else. Again, you might not be like you as a gym owner, for example, you might know everything about, you know, all these workouts. You might deem them boring, or you might think they're really beginner and you're like this big, you know, ripped guy that's ready to go fight the Hulk. But ultimately, like, you know, it's what other people want to see. So make that thing. And even with the electric whisk, you might think, geez, I've got an electric whisk, how boring can this be? But in actual fact, there's people searching for it, there's people want to know, and you can make it fun. Like try and create stuff that 100%. Other people will like to watch. You know, and
and just engage with your audience as well, because I see a lot of brands and businesses when I see a video and I go to the comments, and like there'll be questions or like feedback or suggestions on their posts, and they just don't respond. Like, don't be a Hollywood arsehole. Engage with your audience and just understand their needs and interests.
For sure. And I think also in terms of strategy as well, like as basic as it sounds, you can also like just check out your competitors, you know, like there's other people, and don't think that is a bad thing as well. I think people like look at that really negatively, and even hearing it probably from us as a creative company, you know, they're like, whoa, like you're telling me to go and just copy someone else. I'm not necessarily saying copy, but like there's no problem with you going and, you know, like think about anything. Anyone that's ever been great in this world has learned and sort of like followed on from others.
The majority of content ideas, if not all of them, have pretty much been done multiple times as well.
100%.
So you're not copying from like an original person most of the time.
100%.
That person has probably used inspiration from somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. And do you think, like, just as a final point, I guess, like just because I know for myself, I was like really creative when I was like doing the vlog and stuff, and then when I went and got like a big boy job, I felt like not really creative because I was like making stuff that, you know, I wasn't that interested in. It was like for someone else. It was just like, I'm not really feeling all that good about this. Do you think it can have like a negative effect in any way? Because we're saying all this is like a positive. And I know the answer how to fix it, right? Especially if you're a business. But I think here my answer to my question would be like, you know, my recommendation would be if you're creating content for yourself, i.e. YouTube, TikTok, personal brand, whatever, you definitely want to be creating stuff that you enjoy. But I think if you're a business, it's got to be kind of different. That said, you've still got to keep an eye on that creativity and like enjoyment for it, because as soon as you stop enjoying it, you're going to stop doing it, and then when you stop doing it, it's obviously slower.